This young architect had to put his dream aside due to the fast-moving life. One day, he went to a far beach when he felt stressed out. He just went there to fulfill his passion but ended up falling for a girl. Their eye contact and bright smiles when surfing together gradually grew their love. He couldn't forget the girl who stole his heart and even his camera. An architect went on a very special trip, during which he fell for a generous girl. But after the journey ended, they lost contact. Would destiny let them meet again? In a bustling city where people are always so busy that they don't have time for love, a group of postgraduates wanted to research the love affair these days. They conducted interviews with a random group of people, regardless of gender and occupations. It's all random without any prescript. The interviewees told the postgraduates about their sweet memories. Throwing back to a few years ago, a young man was leaving the airport, and a pretty girl was picking up her sister's friend. She didn't know who he was. Her sister described him as a handsome guy who was 1.82 m tall, and his name is Park Jae-won. She cast her eyes around to find him, and saw a guy as her sister's description. In front of her was a tall and especially handsome guy. She was captivated by his handsomeness. Finding the one, she quickly backed up the car, lowered the window, and asked him, "Are you Park Jae-won? If you're, get in the car. This bright girl is Lee Uno." Jae-won felt excited when she hummed to songs along the way. She even wanted to sing a duet with him when her favorite song was on the radio. Jae-won got a vicarious thrill seeing how comfortable and vital she was. Singing for a while, Uno posed a question. "Why do you rent a camper van though you don't have a Class B driving license? It requires me to park near the beach for you." Then Jae-won told Uno about his childhood dream. When he was under 20, he had two wishes. First one, living in a camper van for a month. Second one, surfing for a month. These are his passions. So Jae-won only rented a car to sleep. Uno felt it was a waste if he rented a car just to sleep. This city is most beautiful on rainy days. Lying in the camper van, sipping cup of coffee while watching the rain is wonderful. But the important thing is that Jae-won didn't have a driving license. But it was simple though. Uno could handle it. Before Jae-won got it, Uno went straight to the Center for Auto Safety. There, Uno took a photo of Jae-won then registered for the driver's license test. She constantly encouraged him that getting a driver's license was as easy as pie. It took her just a day to complete the test. She believed he could get it done well. Then they got to the beach. Standing on the beach, Jae-won saw Uno playing with her dog. He didn't listen to the tour guide, as he was only focusing on that bright girl. A big party was held on the beach. Everyone had fun and sang together. Uno served people with food and started the games. All of a sudden, the electricity suddenly went off. The bell rang, signaling a new game. Not only that, this was also the most attractive game at this party. They played a couple matching game on the beach. Everyone took side with their partners. Jae-won saw Uno still standing alone. He immediately grabbed her wrist. They looked at each other. Looking deeply into the eyes, both of them seemed to read one another's mind. They looked like a perfect couple standing together. They held hands and contemplated the fireworks on the sky. Fireworks are like love sparks in their hearts. They held hands tight looking up to the sky. Perhaps they were secretly wishing for something. The following morning, Jae-won checked the weather forecast first. The sky was blue and the wind was blowing. What a good day for surfing. He enjoyed the coastal scene first. He was startled when lifting up the curtain. The car had been parking on the beach. Why was this lovely girl there already? Jae-won wondered if he was dreaming or not. While he was still half asleep, Uno looked so bright. The sun had risen, she wanted him to practice driving. They got in the car. Uno taught Jae-won little by little. With the first basic movements such as tightening the seatbelt and using the key. He drove in the lane drawn by Uno when he was sleeping. The problem was how to drive. The lane she drew was too small. After the driving practice, they came to the beach. The sea was beautiful, blue and windy. From afar, Uno watched Jae-won surfing like a true surfer on the sea. Then they walked the dog together, grabbed a beer and talked. Uno seemed to like surfing even though she had always been afraid of water. Jae-won was surprised and excited seeing Uno's surfing practice on the sand. "Hey, what are you doing?" "I erased the word, fear. Teach me how to surf." Jae-won took her to the sea for the practice. He pulled her far away from the beach. A low wave lashed Uno's face. "Are you okay? Scared?" "I'm a little bit scared. I'm here. Don't worry. I can get you how many times you fall. Just focus on the waves." "Okay, you're doing well." Uno got used to it and no longer felt scared of water. She began to enjoy the waves and dared to stand up on the skateboard alone to surf. When Uno just stood up, she bumped into a man. She fell into the water. Her head lightly hit a rock, leaving her with a scratch. Jaewon looked worried. He ran towards her with anxiety. And Uno told him how excited she was when she first surfed. Jaewon dried her hair with a towel. They got close together. And then made out with each other in a home near the beach. They were startled when a strong wind blew the surfboards. Uno laughed loudly to cover Jaewon's confusion. They became attached to each other again. Passionately kissed each other. Uno smiled with joy when Jaewon said I love you. They had a very happy night together. The next morning, he woke up without Uno beside. He got out to find her. He saw Uno on the beach with her high spirits as usual. When he was about to call her name, a man came towards her. He cuddled her dog and checked on her wound. They would see each other again a while later. Jaewon wondered if what happened last night was just a dream. Or was he deceived? He sat down thinking of it and Uno ran towards him like nothing happened. In contradiction with her joy, Jaewon felt so shy. They walked together on the beach. Uno struck a conversation. Sleep well last night? You slept soundly like a kid. I watched you for quite a while. You're so cute. And they walked in silence. A while later, Jaewon asked her, what did you talk to Jae-gu earlier? We were going to have a movie date tonight. That night, Jaewon kept checking the time while working. Why does time go by so slowly? Can't do anything anymore. Late at night, Jaewon saw Uno coming back. She held a small guitar. She didn't notice that Jaewon was coming. Why is that? She acts like I'm invisible. Is she ignoring me? I shall give her a lesson. Jaewon picked up the guitar in the corner and played it. Uno turned her head and looked at him. Who was playing guitar? So good. Oh, turns out it's Jaewon. The next morning on the beach, Jaewon felt sad when Uno were playing volleyball with her friends. She was still very naive and happy. Her smile wasn't only for him. Jaewon just left with his surfboard. That wasn't the end. While eating, Jaewon heard the ladies that Uno played skateboard with Jae-gu. She said she didn't know how to play it. Although she fell many times, she still felt happy. As Uno was limping, Jaewon was about to give her medicine. Suddenly, he got a passing thought. What am I doing? Leave her alone, why should I worry? When Jaewon was leaving, his friends held him back. One of them showed Jaewon the photo on his phone. The photo of beautiful Uno in surfing suit. He also boasted that he just surfed with her. Jaewon mumbled on the beach. Who taught her to surf? Of course it's me. So who should teach her a lesson? It's me. When he was still angry. So Jaewon didn't even bother to look at Uno. When she complained of being tired and carelessly lay down right next to him, couldn't stand it anymore. With an annoyed voice, Jaewon said, Hey, I heard you can ride the wave. I'm planning to teach you. But because it's quite dangerous, I'm afraid you'll get hurt. So I'm waiting for a better weather to teach you that. Now, you can ride it by yourself. Who taught you? I'm sorry. Let me come to the camper van and find you. What's wrong with you, Uno? Are you playing a cat and mouse game with me? I see. I won't come for you anymore. She then closed her eyes and rest. Jaewon put his cap on her face. Then he cooled himself down with a bottle of water in his car. Having a sip of water, Jae-gu walked his bike there. He started a conversation with Jaewon. Jaewon responded to him with an insinuation. I heard you like watching movies a lot. Did you have a movie date with Uno? That's right, we were about to watch a movie together. But she said she wanted to watch it with you, so we cancelled our date. Why didn't you tell me sooner? It made me annoyed for days. He got out to find Uno with joy. She was cooking noodles for her customers. She saw a message through the window. Do you still come to see me? When he was writing another message. It's going to rain tomorrow. Will you enjoy it with me? She walked out to see him. But he only clipped the note to the lifebuoy. If you don't come before 6 p.m., that means you hate me. She felt a little hesitant. How can I come? My shift doesn't end until 10 o'clock. Our Jaewon cannot know that. He waited for her in his car. But she hadn't shown up yet. While Uno was working with worry. Restless. After the last guest had just walked out, Uno remembered why she came there. and changed her name into CNA. As if there was a driving force pushing her to ask the owner to let her go home soon. I'm going to see J1 now. Fire me if you want. Then she ran straight to J1. J1 was so disappointed as she hadn't come. It was too late. He couldn't wait any longer. Uno came but J1 already left. She searched around. Once seeing his car, she took a shortcut to stop him. J1 saw her in front of his car with short breath. Feeling touched, he hugged her tight. They hugged each other in the middle of the road like a long-separated couple. Next morning in J1's car. They are lying next to each other. They occasionally looked out the window. But it didn't rain yet. That was fine because they could stay together. I can't focus on reading book. I know. I'm more interesting. I don't need to find meanings in everything else. I like you. Why do you like me? I simply like you. From your top to toe and personality. It started raining outside. They happily contemplated the rain through the window. To get closer to the nature, Uno got out for a rain bath. Her whole body was wet. She enjoyed dancing with J1 in the rain. They were like mischievous children playing and bathing in the rain. When the rain stopped, they grabbed a coffee and talked together. J1 said, "Will you marry me if I stay here for 1 more month? Are you serious?" "I'm honest. Let's get married." They laughed out loud. On the roof of the car, they stood together. Uno held a bouquet. J1 also put on a boutonniere. In front of the camera, they seriously announced, "The wedding ceremony of Park J1 and Yoon CNA starts." Bride Yoon CNA vows to love her groom Park J1 forever. Groom Park J1 vows to love his bride Yoon CNA forever. They will be together forever. They were exchanging wedding rings. The following days, they worked together. Sometimes, J1 helped Uno clean the restaurant and Uno helped him back. Uno took him out of the drink. She showed everyone their couple rings. "He's mine now." Before getting back to the car, they announced, "We're married and living together." They were really together this time. Happiness doesn't last forever. J1 had to get back to Seoul for an urgent matter. Quickly. Before breaking up, Uno didn't use her phone, so she wrote. And kept it carefully in her bag. To make sure that they would meet again. In case they couldn't contact each other. They would wait on the stone bridge in the suburbs at 10 a.m. on the last Saturday of the month. They said goodbye to each other. They were sure that they would meet again. However, they lost in touch. Back to the present. J1 was still working in Seoul. And Uno came there for a new life. She was determined to stay stronger. Uno opened a Seoul member company. She found her acquaintances to do marketing. Driving alone, she remembered the time with J1. But then she told herself to forget him. J1 was no different. He also often remembered his memories with Uno. He also knew that Uno was in Seoul. He hoped that one fine day he would encounter Uno. One day, he was stopping at the red light. Uno was about to get out of her car and fix the windshield wiper. Looking over, she instantly ducked his head. Why Seoul is so small? He is J1. The green light was on. She quickly took a turn far from J1. They just went different ways. The old cameras were her memories, which took photos of their sweet moments. They took photo everywhere. J1 regretted giving her a few cameras. So he wanted her to give them back to him if she was watching. Uno, did you sell my cameras? If you sold them, what did you do with the payment? Did you buy a hearty meal, alcohol, or go shopping? Why did you do that to me? What a beautiful evil. As for Uno, it was only the past. She was determined not to look back. What she needed to do first was to manage her marketing company. Opening the refrigerator every day, she still saw the films. Because J1 once taught her to preserve films like that. Uno brought the films to a photographic studio. While Uno was waiting for the photos, the studio owner answered the phone. The caller was his regular customer who was none other than J1. He asked the owner to develop his film. After a talk with J1, he gave Uno the photos. He recognized J1 in her photos, yet, she kept denying it. At home, she laid each photo on the table. Then she had a look at each one in the camera. Each photo and video reminded her of J1. She missed each of his words, moves, and actions. Even the pair of surfing boards he made to surprise her while she was sleeping. Watching it again and again, she still cried. About J1. After a goodbye at the airport, she didn't call him or come to the location of appointment. He thought Uno lost his phone number. When he came to the location of appointment, Uno sent him a voice message instead of getting there. Jae-won, I was very happy during the time with you. But we shouldn't meet again. I'll keep your camera. Oh no, I stole them. I wanted to steal them from the beginning. I'm sorry. Uno then left in silence, listening to her voice message for over 10 times. He couldn't get why she was like that. At the office of 03 Marketing Company, Uno was lashing out at Kang Ji-yeon for making a mistake while talking to their client. They were classmates and Kang Ji-yeon knew that Uno was very good-natured. But she changed completely after 3 months. The studio owner showed Jae-won the photo he took with Uno. Along the way home, Jae-won listened to Uno's message once again. And he realized that Uno actually kept his cameras. But why did she leave such a message? Kyung-jun's call broke his muddling thought. They all didn't know that CNA was Uno. While Jae-won was looking for Kyung-jun's place, he almost hit a girl. She looked alike CNA. Jae-won got out of his car and Uno ran away. He couldn't catch up with her. Not until seeing Jae-won there that she knew he was Kyung-jun's cousin. She couldn't show Kyung-jun the camera filled with their photos. As Jae-won couldn't find Uno, he got himself drunk to forget about her. Even though, he still wanted to get back his camera. Jae-won kept mumbling until he dozed off. He woke up feeling a bit drunk. He tuned CNA in for stealing his camera at the police station. Also, he told the police officer how and when he met her. The young police officer patiently listened to Jae-won's story. He comforted Jae-won with an embrace. Jae-won wondered why the officer knew his name. The police officer asked, "Are you architect Park Jae-won? How do you know?" He then let Jae-won read the notebook of all details. Do you see it? Everyone here knows about Park Jae-won who was usually drunk. You're like a patron. You've been here 5 times this year. Today is the 6th time. You can't remember as you're dead drunk. The young police officer showed Jae-won the certain days when he came. All the times, he talked about CNA who took his camera. He asked Jae-won to return there once he got more information. On the rooftop, Kang Ji-yeon, Uno and Rin-ai were talking about Kang Ji-yeon's girlfriend. The other day, she asked Kang Ji-yeon whether he liked her or Uno. And whether he liked her or Rin-ai, Kang Ji-yeon asked her back. Do you make me choose between friendship and love? I don't believe that a man and a woman can just be friends. Me, Uno, and Rin-ai. Who do you choose? You're my girlfriend and they're my friends. She picked up the rad backpack and said, I gave you this backpack. Ask them to buy a new one for you. Then she walked out. Uno and Rin-ai were out of the cafe shop. She walked straight towards them. They thought she would make a fuss, but no. She gently removed the piece of paper from Uno's hair and said, As women, we should not fight for stupid men. Then she asked Rintu to give Kang Ji-yeon the bag and left. Speaking of her, they laughed out loud. At that time, Kyung-jun brought them food. 4 of them cooked together. Kyung-jun received a phone call from the police station. He was told to bail Jae-won out, who was detained for making a mess at the police station. After leaving the police station, they went to a restaurant. Kyung-jun asked if there was really a girl named Uno taking his camera. Jae-won avoided the question. Jae-won didn't want to hear her name. At the office, Kyung-jun hid the bottles of wine away from Jae-won. Then he left downhearted Jae-won alone. He saw the surfing board made by himself and Uno, which he was still keeping carefully. Jae-won threw it away as a way of discarding his memories. He brought it to the ward's welfare center. Because it was a big kind of trash, so he must buy a label. So did Uno. She also brought it there as a trash. She was quite hesitant. She finally abandoned it as a way of weighing down her grief. On the way home, it suddenly rained. Standing on the roof, she remembered the days with Jae-won on the beach, when they had a rain bath. She told herself that this rain would stop and everything would pass. And Jae-won was also taking shelter from the rain with his surfing board. He missed the old days too. Couldn't let go of his past, Jae-won decided to bring it back to his office. And he suddenly recalled the girl who was like Uno last night. Remembering something, he immediately checked out his black box with joy. It would have recorded her. Why didn't I remember it sooner? God seemed to kid him. The police had already towed his car away. Kyung-jun thought Jae-won experienced hallucinations under the influence. They went to the police station to get back the car. Jae-won first checked on his black box first. But where is it? I took it off. What are you saying? Someone said you crashed their house, so I handed over the black box as an evidence. Kyung-jun reproached Jae-won for causing a disturbance and drinking too much alcohol. Jae-won poured his heart out in front of the camera. Like she was standing there. Why do I have to find her? Who doesn't want to find the stealer? She suddenly disappeared at the happiest. Why did she do that? If I get my camera back now, I will cut off a connection to her. I hope she will watch this interview. I'm going crazy because of you. Kang Ji-yeon's girlfriend wanted him to return her gifts after their breakup. She threw all the things she gave him before into the recycling bin. Because it might help her forget him, but she was wrong. Right after that, she saw a photo of a gathering with his friends. They were happily introducing their homemade pizza. She told herself, that is so frustrating. Rin-I is dating someone but Uno doesn't have a boyfriend. She always gives me a feeling of insecurity. Let's see when they will put their relationship in public. At Uno's house, everyone was happily enjoying their homemade pizza. Kyung-jun told them about Jae-won. Drunken Jae-won regularly came to the police station. He was even under a delusion. Uno pretended not to care, but she listened to every word. A knock at the door interrupted their talk. Two police officers wondered if they lost something. When everyone came back inside, they didn't see Uno. Thinking that the officers came there with Jae-won, she hid herself in the room. Kyung-jun's words took away Jae-won's confidence. He went to see a psychiatrist. Jae-won's friend who was a doctor there recognized and consulted Jae-won. However, Jae-won said he was asking about his cousin, Kyung-jun. As they hadn't seen each other for a long time, the doctor asked Jae-won out for a drink. Jae-won asked the doctor if drinking too much alcohol could cause hallucination. He confirmed it and advised Jae-won to stop drinking. Listening to him, Jae-won remembered his old memories. Jae-won had waited for Uno for a day, but she didn't come, so he got himself drunk. Looking through the window, he saw snow. And someone who looked like Uno. Supposed that was an illusion, he kept drinking and drooped over the table. Actually, that wasn't illusion. She was really Uno. She had come there to see Jae-won. From afar. Quietly following him to the tavern, she observed him from outside. Till when Jae-won drooped over the table, she sat next to him and watched him sleeping. Then she touched his ring. At that moment, Jae-won raised his head. He couldn't believe that Uno was right in front of him. So he told himself that was just an illusion. In a half-drunk state, he said he had come here 20 times. Waiting until he could see her. Said that he went to the police to report the theft of his camera. How could he forget his fiancée? That was why he never took off the ring. Jae-won posed many questions while Uno just cried. She didn't expect him to love her that much. Jae-won held her hands and asked her not to go. Then he slept on her shoulder. Uno was packing the camera to send them back to Jae-won. But she was afraid that Kyung-jun would realize it. So she got to think of another way. Uno then carried the bag to the police station and intended to have them give the bag to Jae-won. However, she hesitated to come in. After taking his drunken friend home, Jae-won came to the meeting place and set his sights on never coming there again. He took off the ring and threw it away. Right at the moment, he saw Uno. Uno also saw him. She then turned away and ran. Jae-won chased after her. He screamed for help to catch her. Nearby, two policemen heard and helped him catch her. Uno bumped into someone and fell down. The officers also caught up with them. They took her to the police station, which surprised both Uno and Jae-won. When the police handcuffed her, Jae-won also handcuffed his own wrist. At the police station, they were hand in hand, while the officers were valuing the camera. Jae-won explained that his goal when reporting it was to find Uno. They immediately drafted a petition to urgently arrest her. The situation became very serious then. After completing the petition, they would transfer it to the criminal team. Uno would be likely to appear in court and be imprisoned. Jae-won explained that he didn't report her to them for stealing his cameras. This time, he hurt himself. When the police officer announced that he had reported it for 6 times. All evidences were against Uno. When the officer asked for Uno's ID number, she spoke. For the first time since she came there. "Why are you talking about me as a thief? Jae-won gave them to me. I accepted to take them. Why do you keep calling me a thief?" Things went different from then. Jae-won had insisted that he didn't give them to her. However, he was saying that he gave them to her. And Uno was released. It wasn't over yet. Because the officer still asked for her ID number. She couldn't reveal her true identity in front of Jae-won. Before she could give her ID to the officer, Jae-won grabbed it. He was surprised when her real name was CNA. Knowing that he was fooled for such a long time, Jae-won left in anger. Uno ran after him right after that. Jae-won drove his car away even though she was running after them. Jae-won no longer wanted to hear her explanation. She was hit by a motorbike during her chase. Jae-won stopped to see if she was injured, but she was fine, so he just left. "Wait a minute, I'll give them back to you." "Take them." "Why do you give them back to me? You said I gave it to you." "I never wanted to steal them. I just felt it would be better for you if you thought of me as a thief. That's why I said so. I'm sorry for lying to you, Ji-won. Do you know how hurt I am? I don't even know your real name. Everything you told me was a lie. You're a bad person. How can I get it back? As long as I see them, I'll remember the days with you. The one whom I loved. How can I bring it back? Let's not see each other anymore, and now I will throw away the ring." He threw the ring into the nearby stream and drove away. Returning home, Jae-won wanted to drink beer, but his refrigerator was empty. So was his minibar under the table. As Kyoung-joon emptied both of them, Jae-won sat in a corner with a blank mind. He couldn't forget the romantic time with Uno on the beach. 2 officers were talking about the affair between Uno and Jae-won. At the moment, they suddenly saw someone looking for something in the stream. That was Uno. She was groping for something important. Eventually, she screamed with joy when finding it. It was the ring that Jae-won threw away earlier. She was so happy finding it. The following morning, she came to the center to ask for her surfing board back. As she was annoying, the staff passed her turn. Eun waited for the staff at the door of the toilet. She insisted on getting her board back. The staff found the surfing board, so he refused to give it back. No matter how she tried, she still failed to persuade him. She even told him about her success in groping for the ring in the stream. As Jae-won is so important to her, she wanted to find the surfing board back. Jae-won made that surfing board for her as their love symbol. Not until she shed tears, she could bring it home. After what happened, Jae-won was so sad. Also, he was shocked when the one in the dating show was Uno. He remembered that Uno was hit by a motorbike the other day. As long as she gave him an embrace, he would hug her tight like the old days. Uno didn't hug him, so that he felt very disappointed. Actually, he still loved her so badly. Jae-won was stuck with the past. When he lived happily with Uno, it was like a dream. Uno kept the surfing board in her storage. The next question in the interview surprised her. They announced that Jae-won had already found the stealer. Jae-won didn't tell everything when Kyoung-joon asked about that. He just said that she used a fake name. She still lied to him when they came to the police station. Kang Ji-yeon talked about the girl without knowing that she was actually his friend. He even wanted to send her to prison, which made Uno want to hit him. And they had words with each other. Couldn't stand it, Rin-I stopped them. As Jae-won was sick, Kyoung-joon brought him a meal. While Kyang-jun was washing dishes, Jae-won was asked to send a video message. Though Kyang-jun told him not to, Jae-won still wanted to say something. He didn't forgive her yet. He was still sorry for calling her a bad person and threw the bag away. Hearing the message, Uno danced to relieve her sadness. Kang Ji-yeon complained about her noise. Couldn't stop her, Kang Ji-yeon just cooked in the kitchen. Jae-won took a week thinking of Uno's lie. He reminisced about their love when she used a fake name. He also accepted the end of the love affair on the beach and started a new life. During a gathering of 3 friends, Kang Ji-yeon told them about Uno's unequal mind. He couldn't understand why she cried watching comedy. She even cursed at herself in the mirror. As she had nothing to do, Kang Ji-yeon was sure that she went crazy for love. He showed his friends the project of car promotion made by Uno, but she had not yet implemented. Kyang-jun passed it to Jae-won, because it was related to his company. Jae-won received an important client from Seoul who was working for an airline. She and her husband wanted to reform her parents' home. When her husband arrived, he realized Kyang-jun and Rin-ai, and he was quite shy. Hesitate to give her husband a slap on the ear. He was Uno's ex-boyfriend who gulled Uno out of her money. He was a married man and a father of a 9-month-old baby. Rin-ai exposed him there. Jae-won failed to stop them. Kyang-jun gave the client's husband a punch. Rin-ai splashed coke over the man. But all of them got wet. Jae-won was speechless with his staff. He lost a client and even cleaned the floor alone. He then picked up a visiting card of the one who made the marketing project. He thought that might be CNA, who was also his match in the dating show. Looking for a few documents, he found her address. Couldn't it be a coincidence, so he called the number to check it out. He was stunned hearing her voice. That was really CNA. He was too shocked to speak. Waking up in the next morning, he couldn't get her out of his head. Tossing and turning on the bed, due to the failure of cutting a connection to her. Jae-won got mad and chased the film crew out. In the park, Uno and Rin-ai were doing morning exercise, which helped her reduce her sadness. Kang Ji-yeon was doing exercise while reading. Then the 3 of them went home for breakfast. The marketing company called. They accepted Uno's project and asked her to give a presentation about it in the same day. Uno happily accepted it. She believed in the bright future of the company. Jae-won's secretary told him about the potentials brought by 03 Company's project. He also considered choosing to bid for 03 Company in the upcoming project. Next, he discussed with Kyang-jun about the marketing project of 03 Company. He wanted him to explain more about the project owner and why he beat the customer last time. The client was Uno's ex-boyfriend, who cheated on her and married her colleague. He is also the reason why Uno left for 3 months without knowing his whereabouts. That was the reason why Uno disappeared for 3 months. Kyang-jun and Rin-ai came to the hotel in Busan where Uno had been working at. However, she just quit the job there. They got worried when they couldn't know where she was. She lost her boyfriend and her job. Nowhere to go. That's also the reason why she went missing. And she completely changed when she came back. Meanwhile, Uno was having a presentation with an instant noodle distribution company. She offers extremely unique promotional strategies. Along with that is building the business image and spreading culinary culture. The clients were content with her idea. They had no choice to choose her idea, because they didn't want to be sued by her for plagiarism after listening to the entire presentation. At the end of the presentation, Uno's project received many compliments. Their words made her happy and promised to try harder. Seeing the applicants there, she remembered when she applied for a position at a hotel. There, she met a girl named CNA. Therefore, Uno cheered for them all to show up their value. Back at the office, Kyang-jun was trying to convince Ji-won to bid on Uno's project. By the way, he also invited Jae-won to the camping party on Uno's rooftop. It could reduce stress when discussing their business. After a moment of hesitation, Jae-won also agreed to join. At the camping party, everyone together prepared a charcoal stove and lots of food. Jae-won arrived. On the rooftop, they started the party with Kang Ji-yeon's precious alcohol. He presented his 3 million bottle of alcohol that he bought cheaply in a dating scam. Jae-won called Kyung-jun about his arrival. They friendly greeted each other. Uno didn't know where to hide. Jae-won wanted to shake her hands as a greeting. He also let their past go. Uno was too embarrassed to speak. Kyung-jun didn't let Jae-won drink to stop him from making a mess. Jae-won wasn't happy when he was the only one who couldn't drink. When Kang Ji-yeon asked him about the camera stealer, Jae-won uttered a spate of words. Everyone comforted him and began to ask about the pair of rings on Uno's neck. They believed that she had a new boyfriend. Yet, she stood up and walked inside. She wondered why he knew her address. Making an excuse of the project, Jae-won privately talked with Uno. He was pretty shy talking about the marketing project. However, she refused to work with him. That was the main reason. He just wanted to see if that was really her identity. He spoke his mind when she wanted him to leave. She kept silence when he asked her to confirm what happened. Jae-won said that CNA he knew wasn't like that. The change of Uno disappointed him. Everything was a lie for him. Uno then cried alone. Jae-won said goodbye to everyone and left. Kyung-jun and Rin-ai also left the party, leaving Kang Ji-yeon and Rin-ai to clear things alone. Kang Ji-yeon didn't see Uno anywhere in the house and his bottle of liquor was empty. Uno encountered Kang Ji-yeon's girlfriend, Seon-jong. Both of them were drunk. Seon-jong's dad kicked her out of home. And Uno was leaving home. Talking for a while, they took different ways. Uno got on the bus to leave. She thought of what Jae-won told about CNA's character. Uno remembered when she came to Seoul. Entering the house, her boyfriend was with another girl. He then talked to her with harsh words. He said he no longer loved her and chased her away. She sadly walked on the streets, and she threw her phone into a trash bin when it kept ringing. The following morning, she was informed that the company didn't accept her, because they accepted CNA instead. The manager told Uno that CNA's grade was higher than her. Furthermore, CNA seemed to be more positive, which let Uno feel disappointed about herself. But when she called her mother, Uno still tried to control her emotions. She lied that her work and love were fine as she didn't want to worry her mom. After that, Uno took a bus to a beach. She started a new life there. Dropping by a restaurant close to the beach, she ordered a serving of noodles. Uno devoured the noodle. Seeing so, the restaurant owners gave her 2 more bowls of noodle. Uno cried while eating because she hadn't had anything in her stomach for the past week. She ate noodles in tears as she didn't eat anything for a week. When the restaurant owner asked about her name, Uno took the name of the one who got a job instead of her. Because she was so impressed with CNA's special personality, Uno took on a fake identity as CNA and started a new life from there. Waking up with a startle, she was on a bed. Opening the door, she saw Jae-won. She was in his home. Speaking of Uno's friends when they got drunk. Drunken Rin-ai usually slept in the dog cage. Kyung-jun slept in the elevator when he was drunk. While Kang Ji-yeon went to any karaoke's room to sing. Once, he walked into the karaoke room where Seon-jong and her colleagues were singing. That's how they met beautiful Seon-jong. As for Uno, she got in a bus to the last stop. Under the influence, Uno sent Jae-won messages of curses. He didn't know who was that. He called the number and the bus driver said she dead drunk in the bus. Hearing her name, Jae-won drove his car to take her home. That's why she woke up in his home. Uno felt so embarrassed when he took her home. She didn't know where to hide. Jae-won caught her when she was trying to leave on the sly. He answered her phone and lied to Kang Ji-yeon that she was meeting. Jae-won asked Uno to have breakfast with him. He told her that he picked her up from the last bus stop. As she was too heavy, his back got hurt when he carried her to the bed. He picked a quarrel with her but she couldn't talk back to him as it was her fault. Then he showed her the message of curses she sent him last night. Uno wanted to give him back the camera but he no longer needed it. He blamed her for leaving without a word, which made him find her everywhere. Because he was worried that she might be in a life-threatening situation, Uno told him it was just a transient love during a trip. so he should forget it and return to his normal life. Jae-won wondered why she agreed to marry him as he was really sincere. Uno refused it as it wasn't her true color. The one he loved was her fake character. She sincerely apologized to Jae-won then left. It rained, making the atmosphere so sad. Jae-won went out to find Uno with an umbrella. When she was sheltering from the rain alone, he approached her. He took her home because it was a long distance to walk to the bus station. Because it was a heavy rain, he leant back in his chair instead of driving. They said nothing to each other. Jae-won turned on music to break the ice. He then asked about her love style. She liked his stupidity. And they immersed themselves in the love song under the heavy winter rain. When the rain stopped, he took her home. They encountered Kang Ji-yeon and Rin-ai. They were surprised when Jae-won took Uno there. Rin-ai thought Uno had a meeting at his company. Rin-ai asked if Jae-won wanted to have noodles with them. He agreed, though Uno tried to stop him. Uno cooked for them each a bowl of noodles. But she didn't add anything else to Jae-won's noodles, which annoyed him. They talked about the marketing project. Uno tried to explain it to her friends. Meanwhile, Jae-won gave some irrefutable reasons. Hearing that the landlord would increase the rent by 20%, Uno was very upset. She cursed at the landlord. The noodles in her mouth splashed at Jae-won's face. Jae-won couldn't believe this girl was the one he once loved. She was more like a demon. Jae-won also reminded Uno to consider as the date of bidding was coming. After that, Jae-won returned to his company. Ka Young-jun wondered about Jae-won's self-opinionated design. Jae-won explained why there were 100-year constructions. He wished for more time to finish his design, which wouldn't let anyone down. At night, Jae-won opened Uno's suitcase, but it was empty. Looking at the necklace that he was about to give Uno, he remembered she put on a pair of rings on her neck. This made he suppose that she already had a boyfriend. The next morning, Uno continued to return to work, and prepared for the upcoming outdoor party project. Jae-won's secretary announced that the complex of cultural space project that had been successfully auctioned for 03 company. Ka Young-jun excitedly informed Uno. Jae-won searched for Uno's SNS. Yet, he found the account with 03 as the nickname. Scrolling down, he saw a photo of the book favored by himself and Uno. Uno posted all their memories and her emotions there. She remembered everything about Jae-won. Jae-won instantly drove to Uno's place. While picking up her package at the gate, Uno heard a loud crash. Actually, Jae-won intentionally broke her car's mirror. Then he asked to meet her for saying sorry. She was actually behind him and they fought. It was still about their past and Jae-won called her my ex-wife. He wondered why she back-talked to him, which was different from herself of the old days. Uno called him a stalker. They argued like kids. When she was about to leave, Uno accidentally dropped Jae-won's engagement ring, and her ring fell down after that. Picking them up, Jae-won was sure that there were their wedding rings. And he didn't give them back to her. Uno's lie about the ring was detected. She had never thrown them away nor forgotten their love. Uno wanted to break up, but Jae-won didn't accept her excuse. He asked why she groped for the ring he threw away in the stream. No more words, she just kissed him. Jae-won held her back when she was about to leave. They kept making out. After that, Uno asked herself why she kissed him. It made her regret. Jae-won felt uncomfortable and demanded her to speak it out. It was her who kissed him first last time. She said she just went crazy and kissed him. Jae-won showed her their wedding rings, which were the symbol of their love. Uno admitted that she felt sad when he threw it away, so she groped for it, which made her regret. She was concerned about the past. Jae-won didn't care about that at all. And it has nothing to do with her love for him. Yet, Uno really cared about it. Because it was her only secret, which she would bring it to the ground. She felt very humiliated when being discovered. Jae-won talked to her with a loud voice. "You're so selfish." Uno wanted to end up their conversation with her reason. Coming home, Jae-won poured off his anger on the pillow. He called Uno, but she hung up the phone after 5 seconds. Nevertheless, he wouldn't give up. Thus, he kept calling her. Getting annoyed, Uno made Jae-won sad with her true thoughts. The next morning, while she was struggling to fix her car's mirror, Jae-won offered to get it repaired. Uno returned some stuff to Jae-won. He took it back so that both sides could think less. Also, he gave her the suitcase she left at his home. They wished each other happiness and then went their separate ways. About Kyung-jun and Rin-ai. They were still very happy together. What about the other couple? Seon-jong found Kang Ji-yeon's home and asked to see him. When he found her, she was lecturing 3 minors. She taught them how to behave after seeing them littered cigarettes. On behalf of their parents. It made Kang Ji-yeon laugh and he teased the boys. He stood behind his girlfriend. They grabbed a drink together. They talk about family and work. Every time Seon-jong drank, she always missed her mother. I'm as hot-tempered as my mother. Kang Ji-yeon asked her why she dumped him. She questioned why he didn't hold her back. Kang Ji-yeon said, "You're not the one who will stay even if I hold you back." Seon-jong thought he would hold her back. However, he didn't hold her back as she wished. If it was someone else, I would have forgotten him. But it was you, so I got upset and angry. Drunkenness reveals what soberness conceals. Seon-jong wondered if he liked Uno and he said, "Not at all. I don't consider Uno and Rin-ai women. Even if I consider them women, you're still the most beautiful woman in my eyes." His glance and sweet words made Seon-jong quite happy. She laughed out loud. He had never praised her like that. Pouring her heart out, she said. She would overcome it alone and no longer come to see Kang Ji-yeon. It was like her final decision. Then they shook hands and sadly left in solitude. Kang Ji-yeon met Rin-ai and said he would light up the candle. Yet, Uno texted them that she would do it. Once one of them lit a candle, the other 2 would be all ears. She told them about her return after a time of missing. Kang Ji-yeon's presence in her home shocked her. He washed the blanket in case she felt cold. Additionally, he paid all the electric and water bills. Rin-ai also got back to Korea to find her missing friend. Both of them were very worried about her. Whenever they came, they left a note asking her to call them. Uno thanked them for that. She was well aware that they daren't ask her what had happened. Even though, Uno pretended not to know, like biting the hands that fed her. Uno sincerely apologized her friends. Following that, she admitted to be CNA, who stole Jae-won's camera. Finishing her confession, she sobbed. She was still stupid Uno without any change. Her friends said it wasn't her fault. Uno didn't let Jae-won knew about her embarrassment. Her friends were upset when she shared nothing with them. Rin-ai said, "You're not as stupid as you thought." Kang Ji-yeon agreed. Uno was very warm and gentle. Whoever Uno was, they still like her. They didn't want Uno think that way about herself. All of them hugged each other in tears. At night, Uno discovered there was something in her suitcase. Opened it up, she saw Jae-won's gift. Jae-won and Kyung-jun were given a box of mandarins after meeting their client. Jae-won paid a care when Kyung-jun was going to see Uno. He sped up to arrive in time. Uno came to the company and encouraged herself to get it done well. 3 of them discussed about the incoming project. However, Jae-won kept making her uncomfortable. After the meeting, 4 of them enjoyed Rin-ai's new pizza. They tried to find a good name for her pizza. Kyung-jun didn't know about Jae-won and Uno, so he asked how his friends thought about Jae-won. 3 of them wondered if they should explain it to him. Uno also slept on Jae-won's gift. Jae-won put it there on purpose to disturb her. As his expectation, Uno gave him a call. He rejected her call to annoy her. The next day, the desirable building was done. Jae-won was concerned that Uno didn't wear the necklace. The premiere was going well. Jae-won and other tycoons also came to congratulate them. He was happy when Kyung-jun introduced his girlfriend to him. However, Rin-ai wasn't happy when Kyung-jun lied about her job. The atmosphere between Rin-ai and Kyung-jun wasn't good due to his lie. Kang Ji-yeon suffered the ice between them. They didn't speak a word until arriving at Kang Ji-yeon's place. Rin-ai questioned about her boyfriend's lie that she was studying post a master's degree. Kyung-jun didn't know how to tell people about his girlfriend, who had been doing a part-time job. Rin-ai was really upset about Kyung-jun. He really didn't want her to live like that. More than that, he wanted her to study more or find a full-time job. Their love fell apart when Rin-ai thought Kyung-jun didn't understand her. He was her girlfriend, not just a man. What could be worse than that? Money wasn't a matter to Rin-ai. She enjoyed living a leisure and minimalist life. Meanwhile, Kyung-jun was worried about her job. Whenever losing her job, Rin-ai tried hard to find a new job, without knowing when she would be fired again. That's why Kyung-jun wanted her to have a stable job. Rin-ai teared up because of his explanation. Her life was rough, but it was her lifestyle. It was her favorite life. She wanted to stay the way she was without caring about people's thought about her. Kyung-jun's thought about her hurt her a lot. Why were they still together? Rin-ai wanted to break up with him because of their lifestyle differences. Jae-won found Uno on the rooftop. Uno held the necklace, which Jae-won gave her, in her hand. Even she herself didn't know what kind of person she was. She wasn't CNA. Was not as lively and lovely as what Jae-won knew about her. Uno didn't want Jae-won to know about her true self. Jae-won, even I don't know what kind of person I am. Maybe I'm a shy, clumsy girl who doesn't know how to improve herself. If I were like that, would you still love me? Jae-won imagined it before coming there. He happily accepted everything from her. If you don't have the ability to erase memories, please don't erase them. Let's get more about one another. Will you be my girlfriend? Finally, Uno accepted his love confession. He put on the necklace on her neck and made out with her. From then on, they officially became a couple. They held hands tight, stayed, and walked this life together. A few days later, Uno went to the set. She saw two juniors were bullying an actress. Couldn't stand it, she helped the actress by pretending to be her friend. A while later, the actress disappeared from the set. The director grew cross and asked everyone to find her. Uno was going to drive home for breakfast. Hannah was hiding there for a while. She got in Uno's car and asked her to drive her out of there. Uno agreed to help her. They successfully escaped. Hannah arrived at her boyfriend's home. He was also a young and beautiful police officer. Hannah's love for him expressed in her eyes. She was very worried when he got bruises on his face. Uno told Jae-won about what happened earlier. They made people around jealous of their love. Suddenly, they got a message from a broken-up couple. Rin-ai asked Uno out for a movie date while Kyung-jun wanted to drink with Jae-won. The lovebirds refused. Handle your business by yourself. How evil are they? On the birthday of the young police. He didn't remember his birthday, but Hannah did. She bought a small birthday cake. They celebrated his birthday with joy. Hannah poured her heart out. Every party ends. Before saying goodbye, Hannah wished he would love her with his whole heart. And they first kissed each other. After that, Hannah was no longer worried when kissing her partner on the set, as her first kiss was for the one she loved. Happy ending. Please like and subscribe. Goodbye and see you next time.